Lamborghinis. Get yourself signed and have your own sneaker. I'm in the van, I'm pushing the meter. A legend like John for everyday people. I got the heart of a champion. I got the blood of a winner. I don't know how to be stagnant. I got way too much ambition. I keep on beating statistics. How would I be denied? My only option is winning. I'm crossing the finish line.
These two teams do not like each other, and you got to love that.
Us versus them, survival. We must win, it's tribal. My team like Ken, by any means necessary. One head-to-head with adversaries. Nothing is given, so we gotta take it. Can you feel it?
Good evening and welcome to Hope College inside DeVos Fieldhouse. I am Carly Van Swal, soon to be joined by Eric Van Swal, and you are here for the exciting matchup between the Hope College Flying Dutch and the Calvin College Knights. We're going to pause here really fast and send it over to our PA announcer for the national anthem and our introductions.
The DeVos Fieldhouse, the home of Hope College Volleyball. Tonight, the Flying Dutch of Hope hosts the Knights of Calvin University in MIAA action. Before we announce our starting lineups, we ask that you please remove your hats and join us as we stand, if you're able, to honor our country and everyone defending it with the playing of our national anthem. And now, here are the players and lineups for tonight's match. First, for the visiting Knights of Calvin University. Number 4, Marley Beaker. Number 7, Jordan Steen. Number 12, Paige Limkel. Number 13, Taylor Berenson. Number 14, Allison Moore. Number 15, Carly Mearsome. Number 16, Ryan Van Wyk. Number 18, Emma Ekblaw. Number 19, Trina Vanderswag. Number 20, Mary Boa. Number 22, Kate Breams. Number 23, Evie Ugama. And number 25, Yasmin Savoy. And now starting for the Knights, a 5'9". From Jenison, Michigan, number 1, Aubrey Rubel. A 5'11" sophomore from Saugatuck, number 5, Aaron Baker. A 5'10" sophomore from Grand Rapids, number 6, Alyssa DeVries. A 5'11" junior from Hudsonville, number 8, Vanessa Martinez. A 6'1" freshman from Pella, Iowa, number 10, Jasmine Naminga. A 5'9" junior from Portage, number 11, Avery Ekins. A 5'10" senior from Belleville, number 21, Gabriella Kellogg. Head coach of the Knights is head coach Dr. Amber Warners. She's assisted by Emily Clark, Morgan DeVries Bream, Kelsey Sears Walton, and Grace Selman. And now for your Hope College Flying Dutch. Number 1, Kate Lortzma. Number 3, Natalie Panucci. Number 4, Annie Lockett. Number 5, Gracie Allen. Number 7, Natalie Dunn. Number 8, Jenna Bloom. Number 9, Jenna James. Number 10, Ella Cantant. Number 12, Catherine Oates. Number 13, Liz Vanderslice. Number 15, Eva Hardung. Number 19, Ashley Murray. And number 21, Brooke Fox. And now starting for your Flying Dutch, a 5'7" junior from DeWitt, number 2, Grace Marshall. A 6'1" freshman from Grand Haven, number 6, Cameron Burbridge. A 5'7" sophomore from Plymouth, number 11, Lauren Lee. A 5'5" senior from Traverse City, number 14, Olivia Feebing. A 6' junior from Kentwood, number 17, Allison DeWeird. A 5'8" junior from Elkhorn, Wisconsin, number 18, Sammy Seib. And a 6'1" junior from Grand Rapids, number 22, Addie Vanderwide. Your Flying Dutch is coached by head coach Becky Schmidt. She's assisted by Carrie Lahaki, Jaylene Primus, Amber Morrison, Gabby Vachon. Your officials this evening are Jill Baker-Cooley, Tina Hamp, Charlie Ocheski, and Todd Klein.
Nothing less than an exciting game today. Hope coming in at 14-1 overall, Calvin at 13-2 overall. In the conference, Hope is 2-0. In the conference, Calvin is 1-0. So very early on in the conference season, but both teams have been powerhouses so far in this season. We're going to see a lot of action at the net. Both teams got great hitters. Calvin has been dominating the blocks and attacking at the net in that way. Hope's serves have been killer for the last couple games and have given them a lot of points lately. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Hope hitters can adjust to the blocking power of the Calvin Knights and how the serve receive is going to be for the Knights against Hope's powerhouse serves.
Look at that right there. You got as much info as you could pack into 45 seconds. You mentioned the 3 combined losses between these teams. Calvin has lost to North Park and Ohio Wesleyan. Hope most recently just losing to University of Wisconsin Oshkosh, ranks number 3 in Division III at the University of Chicago in a tri-match. That was just a few days ago, last Saturday. They bounced back with a W over the University of Chicago and are going to look to continue what has been a hot start to the season with their main rival in the way right here.
Yeah, both teams got a lot of action at the net, have 3 great hitters to go to at all times. We're going to see a lot from Hope, from Vanderweide, who we know well. We're going to see DeWeerd get some action. And then for the Knights, it's going to be a lot of Naminga and Martinez when they get their spot at the net.
And Alyssa DeVries set to serve it off for the Knights, and we are underway here. And the first point goes to the Knights with Vanderweide.
What a great confidence builder right off the bat. We know Calvin can block. That's been a huge point of focus for Coach Warner this whole season. And to get a great tip off the block to start off, great job for Hope.
Right off the block for the first kill of the night. DeWeerd sets it off for the Dutch as Calvin goes on the offensive for the first time tonight. And they succeed right there. Gabriella Kellogg getting the point for the Knights.
We're going to see a lot of back-to-back action. It's going to be on both teams to keep up the urgency. No one can get too comfortable because it's going to be a tight match to the end.
Avery Ekins serving for the Knights 1-1 as we started off here. It's going to be a fun time. Hope plays the free ball over. Set coming for the put down. There's a whistle, and the point's going to go to Calvin. The set was intended for Aaron Baker, and we got, I believe, a net violation against the Dutch.
And those are the lackadaisical errors that we can't have early on. Hope's defense did a great job. That back row was ready to get that tip off the block, but the hitter's got to stay away from that net.
Ekins again with a 1-point lead now. That one is received by Grace Marshall. Missed it a little bit. Set to Vanderweide, and it's wide on that one right there.
Major perks to Ekins for starting off this serving session for the Knights well. I mean, the Hope haven't got a good first pass yet this whole time that she's been serving. So right now, Hope needs a good first pass to get him a good hit.
Hope's last home game against Wheaton College, they were susceptible to a couple serving runs as the roll shot from Vanderweide gets played over right there. Calvin comes back with a hammer as Aaron Baker scores it for the Knights.
And Baker led the way in their last game against St. Mary's with 10 kills for the day, so we'll be seeing a lot from her. Great job of getting up and over that block.
Typically, we talk about both of these teams independently being able to outsize the other one, but when they play each other, that is really not an option as Ekins continues the roll, and it's 4-1 Knights as Hope is able to stem the tide with Cameron Burbridge on the middle set.
Great first pass there by Hope that allowed Lauren Lee to be able to have time to get up and under that ball, in a perfect set to her hitter. Great first pass that led to the point.
And you mentioned Lauren Lee. She serves it over. Calvin brings it back. Phoebe digs that one out. Lee goes far side to Vanderslice, tipped and covered by Ekins. And it's just over the net right there from Baker once again.
Baker making herself known already as a go-to hitter for this Calvin offense.
The Saugatuck native as Martinez comes back on and Gabriella Kellogg sits down, the senior.
Now Hope's going to have to be aggressive at this net. Baker and Martinez up there is a dangerous combo.
Aubrey Rubel sending it long on the service error, giving the Dutch a much-needed point right there. Grace Marshall taking a break with Brooke Fox coming on. Carly said pregame he thought Fox may start this one, coming on early here. Only 8 points total in before she makes her appearance.
Yeah, Fox having a great last couple games, adding a lot of kills to the category for Hope, and so I'm excited to see what she brings to the table today.
Ekins mishandled the initial serve, gave Hope the opportunity, and Burbridge takes advantage right there.
And that's how you capitalize on these opportunities. Slowly but surely you chip away. I mean, Calvin got themselves a couple-point lead, and now it's a one-point game.
Something tells me this one's not going to go on too long of runs one way or another as Ekins takes the service from Vanderweide. And as we've heard several times tonight already, Erin Baker gets it off the block and down for the Knights.
And just so impressive how she can diversify her shot so well. She's going cross court. That was a beautiful line shot at Lauren Lee. Just a great job. It's got to keep the Hope defense on their toes. They don't know where she's going to hit it.
Emma Ekblau coming on for Naminga for the Knights. As back to serve is Trina Vanderswag, and she is going to get the ace right there for the Knights.
Trina Vanderswag, a freshman, coming in from Holland Christian, making her mark early in her first ever Calvin Hope game. What an exciting way to start for her.
One of the shortest players on either of these rosters at 5'7", but playing big on the first couple serves. Phoebe was able to take that one. It was put away by Fox. Came back to the Knights. Free ball-ish over from Baker. Back row set for Vanderwide. She put the hammer on it, but Vanderswag comes up big on that one off the block. And down for Naminga. Check that Ekblau for the Knights.
Just a misplaced ball there by Vanderslice. She got her hand on it, but just couldn't quite make the most of that play.
Every once in a while, those change-ups work for you, and a couple of them did against Wiedenfort, but not that time around. Awkward reception there, but it works out for Fox. Calvin somehow able to get it over, and Vanderslice steps out of the way of it as it misses the line for a point for the Dutch.
Just great court awareness there. You know where you are in the court. She knew she was close to that line. Step back. Great job.
Court awareness is absolutely the phrase to use right there. I thought from our vantage point that actually hit the line, it was going to be tough. But
I agree.
Phoebe serves to Ekins. Calvin coming back with Baker, and Hope can do nothing about it.
Great job by Vanderswag to get that second ball. A nice setup to her hitter to get herself to help her hitter be in a good position to make that point.
Baker out of Saugatuck has taken several swings already and is now swinging from the service position, and she's going to sail that one almost out of bounds on the basketball court.
Yeah, crazy. She's got a great follow through on her swing and just couldn't get it to go for a serve.
Well, she's been showing off the power and been ripping it to start, so semi-understandable that that's the case. As Sammy Seib replaces Vanderslice and takes it back for the set. Hope down 9-6 here in the early going. Great effort from Vanderswag to get that one up. Calvin has to play it over lightly. Lee, back row for Seib. Played over softly again. Ekins tried to shake down the Thunder, but it was received well. Brooke Fox, and she is rejected right there by the Knights.
And there's that blocking that we talked about earlier. Fox is a key component of that, and we're going to see it a lot more.
Especially with Naminga in the front there at 6'1", the freshman, able to get a lot of limbs on that ball. Jordan Steen, the freshman from Unity Christian. You'll see a lot of West Michigan influence between these two teams as Calvin has a 4-point lead. Vanderwide tries to change that, just misses deep. And it's going to go Calvin's way. 5-point lead in the early going here.
And Vanderwide being as good as she is, you can't underestimate her. She'll find it slowly but surely. It might not be with her right now, but she's going to get her swing and she'll be dangerous from the front or back row.
She's a workhorse ever since Annie Lockett has gone down. And she's going to figure it out as Seib puts one over. That was deflected by Ekins. Baker puts it up for Naminga. That's rejected by Fox. Coming back to Baker from the spike this time, and I think it just goes to show she's better when she's taking a swing rather than setting up the set.
Yeah, I mean, just phenomenal job. Doesn't matter where she is on the court, she's going to make a difference. And Vanderswag doing a great job of finding her good back row set, and obviously dynamite finish by Baker.
And we get a timeout for the first time. Head coach Becky Schmidt wanting to talk it over. 12-6. Calvin lead in the first set. We're going to take a break as well. This is Hope Volleyball. And we're back out of the timeout. Calvin's going to have the service with Jordan Steen. And a 6-point advantage here in the early going first set. Student section's filling up both sides. Steen serves it over to Phoebe. Cross-court set from Lee. Standing spike from Fox. Calvin has to play it over on the bump. Back set on the curl. And it's knocked away right there. Allison DeWeerd for the Ducks.
That is exactly what Hope needed coming out of that timeout. A free ball from Calvin for an easy setup for Hope's offense. Becky Schmidt couldn't have wrote that one better for her team post timeout.
And that's an alley-oop. And an easy one right there. Fast breakaway. Since we're on the basketball court, as Calvin with a spike error there, or kill attempt error, I should say. Avery Ekins sending it deep. And 2 big points for the Dutch coming out of the timeout. We saw them play pretty well out of the timeout a couple weeks ago against Wheaton. Wheaton also played well out of timeouts, but Calvin feels a little off the first couple points. Back set to Ekblau. Hope able to cover it, and DeWeerd puts it off the block.
Great hustle by DeWeerd to be there on the outside for that double block and make it back to her hitting position in the middle and get a great ball off that block. Just great hustle on her part.
Hey, middle hitters don't just stand there and whack it, you know.
It's true.
They show off the athleticism as well. Set up for Ekins. She taps it softly over, and it threw off the Dutch defense.
I mean, great job. Way to switch up the tempo. She saw that she had all 3 blockers up. No one was in the middle. Just tip it right over top. Really great decision there.
DeVries and Namigo rotate in. Alyssa DeVries, the sophomore from Grand Rapids Christian, going to serve it away. 13-9 lead for Calvin. First set still. Saib with the reception. And the curl works once again for DeWeerd.
DeWeerd getting it to go, and it's a fun matchup we got right here with DeVries and Vanderweide, ex-teammates here playing in one of the greatest rivalries in the country.
DeWeerd back to serve now. Puts it in Ekins, mishandles a little bit. Calvin scrambling, but it ends up in the hand of Baker in the back row, but Vanderweide comes back with it.
And that's what we know and love about Vanderweide. She found her spot. She's known for some great, powerful cross-court shots. Found the back corner. That's really hard to defend.
It is hard to defend indeed. But it's down to a 2-point Calvin lead as they free ball it over. Lee near side for Vanderweide, and it is a replay of the moment ago.
I was going to say that was almost identical of where her last placement was. Baker sat back farther in the middle, leaving that corner open again for Vanderweide. Great job of Hope of using that free ball well.
Hope serving again with DeWeerd. Far side. That's Kellogg. Hope able to defend, and Burbridge, the timing was off with Lee right there.
Yeah, just a miscommunication there. I don't think Lee got the pop off the ball that she really wanted with that. Nothing you can do about that.
Not a whole lot indeed. And Ekins serving with a 2-point lead for the Knights.
And Ekins, who was the first server of the game, coming back for her second time, making herself known in that serving position, and she is really single-handedly making it tough for this Hope defense off serve receive.
3-point advantage now. Just barely gets that one over. Saib receives, middle hit, and it's knocked down by Burbridge.
That was the timing that those two wanted a couple points ago, and they nailed that one. Great job by Burbridge to get up there high, and great pop off the ball by Lee.
Well, they practice that a lot. Not every single one's going to go well, so it's good to see it back on that rhythm as Lee serves it to Rubel for the Knights, and Baker hangs in the air. Oh my goodness.
I think you stole the words out of my mouth. Her hang time is just ridiculous. The ability to wait in the air. The block's already on its descent by the time she swings and hits the ball. It's just very impressive.
Rather Jordan-esque right there as Rubel with the serve, fielded by Grace Marshall for the Dutch. And the quick trigger to Burbridge works this time again.
That was a great spot. Again, the similar spot of where Vanderweide hit it in that back corner that Calvin seems to be leaving wide open. We'll see if they make any adjustments, considering that's kind of the sweet spot for Hope right now.
And they're down 2 with Vanderweide. Plastering it to Baker inside, and it's rejected by the Dutch.
Burbridge giving the Knights a little taste of their medicine. Great solo block there.
And not surprisingly, after leading 12-6 last time out, it's 16-15, and the Knights take a timeout. We're going to take a timeout as well. You're listening to Hope Volleyball. Fieldhouse, Calvin clinging to a 1-point lead in the first set. Eric Van Swal alongside Carly Van Swal, thanking you fans for riding along with us. If you couldn't make it here, I feel sorry for you, because it's one of the best volleyball matchups in the country anywhere tonight, and especially at the Division III level. Both of these teams perennially ranked in the top 10, couple national championships under their belts the last several years. Head coaches, stalwarts here. Amber Warner's in her 22nd season, Becky Schmidt in her 20th. As Calvin with Jasmine Nanninga starts it off offensively out of the timeout. Vanderslice puts it, and it's going to be a 4-hit situation against the Dutch. She didn't get it high enough. It hit the tape and came down. That was not counted as a block for the Knights.
That was a nice offensive shift for the Knights. We haven't seen a whole lot from the right side of the net from either team. And so for the Knights to switch it up, make Lee pass that first ball. Marshall had a decent set on it, just a misconnection on the hit. But just great job of the Knights of mixing it up a little bit to get that point off the timeout. And
a big point as well, as it's now 17-15. Back set for Vanderslice, dug out nicely by Ekins. Rubel puts it up for Baker, standing cross court. Phoebe ends up with it. Short change of pace from Burbridge. Almost worked, but a great diving effort from Vanderswag. And Baker comes back with it, and there's just no stopping her so far.
And Vanderwag getting caught on her heels, but prior to that, the hitting percentage for Baker was .545. I mean, obviously it's gone up now, but that's just crazy. Burbridge on the Hope side hitting at about 600 right now, and it's just Baker's putting on a clinic right now.
Indeed, especially with the volume that she has. Vanderwag with the service, and a net violation against the Dutch on the kill attempt from Fox. Check that, I said that on the Dutch, I mean the Knights.
And those are mistakes, again, Calvin can't make right now, but Hope will take that token, making it a 2-point game.
Or mistakes that broadcasters can't make, mixing up these two programs. Baker does well to get that one, gets it right back. It's picked up by Vanderslice. Calvin wanted a lift, no call. Ekins with the dig out. Baker again from the back row. Cross court curveball, but it's just out, says the official. Point for the Dutch.
I mean, hard set. That was pretty far off the net, a little far off the court. Baker tried to make the most of it, but just couldn't do it.
I really thought for a moment that was going to land in. Obviously, our vantage point being right in front of the press box was not fantastic, but big break for the Dutch as Ekins takes that serve from Phoebe. Tapped over by Baker. Hope has a chance here. Vanderslice with Calvin out of position, and it's good.
Vanderslice, that was great line shot there from the right side. Quick. It was such a quick set that it was hard for the Calvin defense to adjust off that. Good timing between the setter and the hitter right there.
They had to try to slide from the middle back outside. The wall was not set up where they would have wanted it to be, and we're knotted up at 18. Baker slaps it over, picked up by Vanderwide in the back, and the tap from DeWeerd almost works, but a free ball from Calvin. Great defensive effort. Lee with Hope ready for the offense, and the swing comes from Fox.
Calvin got up there a little bit for the block. Martinez was a little slow from that assisting block position, and Hope was able to slice that right through and get a nice point to set it up and get a 1-point lead.
We're not even done with the first set, but the rivalry is living up to the billing on this Wednesday night. Hope with their first lead of the night, 19-18. We'll be back after this. You're watching Hope Volleyball.
It's no secret. The best way to learn about Hope College is to spend time on our campus. The Hope admissions team invites you to a personalized visit experience you won't forget. Located in downtown Holland, Michigan, our historic campus is close to shopping and dining and just 10 minutes from Lake Michigan. We invite you to check out our campus tour options or sign up for an online tour with the Hope admissions office. There's never been a better time to see Hope College. Visit us at hope.edu/admissions.
We're back after the timeout from the Dutch right there. Check that, from the Knights right there. The Dutch have one timeout remaining, is what I was intending on saying, as they have a 19-18 lead in the first set here.
And with only a few points left in this match, Hope cannot let their foot off the gas. They got to go through to the end. Calvin's got to get a side out here. It's going to be a tight win to the finish, but neither team can give up.
Prior to the first time out, it was 12-6 in favor of the Knights. Since then, Hope has gone on a 13-6 run of their own to take a 1-point lead as Olivia Phoebe, the senior from Traverse City, serves it over to Ekins for the Knights. Namiga was able to get it over for Calvin. Vanderwide with Calvin, discombobulated in the back row. Big point for the Dutch.
I mean, you'll take what you can get. Vanderwide, good spot, a little shot in the middle. It's not like it was the best set, not like it was the best hit, but sometimes if it's a point, it's a point.
2-point lead for the Dutch as Calvin was a little out of sorts, and a rare miss hit from Baker right there, caught it off the wrist.
Yeah, I don't know if the spin on that ball was the right choice to hit it. I know free balls aren't ideal to send back over the net, but that was just a really hard ball to hit.
Beebing serves again, and Calvin rightly lets it fly.
If you're Calvin, you need to capitalize on this moment. Hope to keep your foot on the gas. You need a quick you need a quick side out.
Baker ready to serve. Down 2. Vanderwide gets it. Lee cross court for Fox, and collision in the back row. Hopefully the Calvin players are all right. Namiga cross court and misses it wide.
Seems like all the Calvin hitters can't really seem to connect in the areas of the court that they want to go. Good first pass right here will set them up well.
Their offense was incredibly crisp to start out, but I think their defense to offense transition has caused them a little bit of issues here as DeWeird gets the block, punches it up, but the official's going to say that's a double hit on her behalf. Becky Schmidt wants an explanation.
They're thinking that it was a block, and when you block, it doesn't necessarily count as a hit, so you can hit it twice in a row. So I think they thought it was a block and then a pass, but it looks like the referees might have called it a lift.
And now Becky having a conversation with Olivia Phoebe, senior defensive specialist wearing the libero uniform, and she's going to go have a conversation with the head official out on the far side of the court. 22-20, Hope lead. Calvin is currently set to serve after the double hit was called on DeWeird. And Phoebe's going to try to explain to Becky Schmidt what is going on.
I think there's a confusion on who they called that on, but I think we're going to proceed with the action.
Proceeding with the action, I believe there's a substitution is there as well, or she was asking for clarification on the substitution. But in any case, Jordan Steen comes back and gives Hope the point with a service error.
That's exactly what Hope needed right there. Easy point for them, and with 2 to go, Hope serving. It's a great setup for the Dutch.
Brooks Fox steps off. Grace Marshall comes on, puts it over. Calvin coming back with it. It's Kellogg, and that's a huge point for the Knights.
Great job by Ekins to set that play up well. Perfect first pass to the setter, giving the setter time to get a nice set out to the outside.
Alyssa DeVries serving down 23-21. Hope can get the point and have match point with a serve, and it's off the block from Vanderwaay.
I mean, quick tip. It looked like she was going to swing. Block was there, still kind of floating over, and she pushed it right between the two blockers in a great spot on the line.
The weird back to serve. I was in the moment a moment ago and said match point. It's only set point. It's the first set, 24-21. Calvin down, looking for something here. Hope has a chance to take set one with Burbridge, and she gets it to go.
And there's that 1-2 timing, perfectly executed to solidify the win for the first set.
Huge comeback from the Dutch, down 12-6. Rip off a 19-9 run to take set one against the Knights in this MIAA matchup here at DeVos Fieldhouse. Set two will be coming up in a few minutes. You're watching Hope Volleyball.
Loved school. I've always loved school, and I was very driven in high school too, but for some reason I just never actually thought I could do it because I couldn't see it. It didn't feel tangible. And when I was able to get a scholarship, I was like, I'm actually going to college. I can do this. People believe in me. I understood that my education could completely change my life, that it opens so many doors. And I think that some students just go to college as the next stepping stone in their life. They don't really think about what does this really mean and how can this change my life. And I understood that because neither of my parents had that opportunity to get a degree.
I graduated from Hope College in 2019 with a biochemistry and molecular biology degree with a Spanish minor. One big part of my personal calling into medicine is to, one, show other students that look like me, so students of color, women, that you can do this too. And that if there is an obstacle, let's talk about it and let's surpass that obstacle, because you can surpass that obstacle. I feel like my family and I have done a lot for me to get here, but I know it is doable with support. One big moment that happened recently that's super exciting and a part of your entrance into medical school is the white coat ceremony. It was monumental to me and my family. It was a symbol of how hard work does pay off. For me, as a first-generation college student, receiving my scholarship opened up that door for education that I didn't believe in high school I even deserved. Now being an adult and going through college and now being in med school, I can see that investment of that scholarship in my life truly allowed me to not only pursue this, but also gain confidence in myself that I do deserve to be present in a higher education realm, even though not many people look like me when I walk in the door. I've been able to help my younger sibling and then also extended family apply to college and apply to scholarships now that I've gone through it. So I do think being that first person to go through it is really scary, but once you are able to gain
For set number two here at DeVos Fieldhouse. Hope taking a 25-21 first set victory over the visiting Calvin Knights. These two teams no strangers to each other as Grace Marshall sets it off to start the second set. Ekins with the push over the net. Lee gets under it. A little awkward timing from Vanderweide, but it works.
I mean, Vanderweide, we didn't see much of her from the front row in that first set. She was mostly in the back row just based on how the rotations had worked out for that set. But exciting to see her in the front row come off strong.
Yeah, Vanderweide, not too many attacks, but she had a couple to start the first set and a good one right there. Hope with the block, but able to get slapped over the net by Kellogg. Vanderweide coming back with it, and 2 in a row to start the second set.
Right back to her sweet spot. I mean, different side, but literally the same diagonal corner that she's been hitting when she's been in the front row. I don't know if she's hit a different shot today yet.
Not sure if Becky Smith decided to change it up this time around as Calvin with the softball. Namiga able to find the soft spot in the zone there. There was absolutely nobody in the region of that ball.
Yeah, that was really smart. Hope made that easy on her. She just had good court awareness, and I mean, she could have put that anywhere within 8 feet and it would have hit the ground. Seriously,
as Kellogg, Namiga, and Baker in the front row, and Namiga and Baker come blind for the block right there on Phoebe. Sammy side.
Back-to-back points. Hope's defense caught on their heels. I mean, even that play, there was 4 or 5 people around the ball and no one just went for it.
Calvin struggled first set to set up their defense and turn it into offense. They were ready for it right there and didn't even need any offense. Ekins, who had a good first set serving, sends it long there.
Yeah, that's big for Hope right there. She was the one that went on a lot of runs. And even if you look at the stats in the first set, there wasn't a whole lot of differential. There was 2 more service errors on the Knights' part, but the big thing was the disconnect on Calvin's hitters towards the end of the set that let Hope pull away.
Kellogg dug out by Marshall. Vanderweide partially blocked by Baker, and Calvin able to knock it down with Kellogg right there, getting the touch and the point.
Kellogg, who we didn't really see in that first match, she has been a huge contributor for this Knights offense this whole season. She's in their top 3 hitters so far, leading in kills, and I expect to see a lot more of her in this set.
The senior from Belleville setting right there, pushing it over the net. What a dig by Ekins, though. Nobody's digging that one from Vanderweide.
And if you notice, you saw Ekins for the Knights back up. She was more towards that back corner, but Vanderweide saw and hit line that was perfectly open. Great job by Vanderweide to switch that one up.
Yeah, I got to give credit where credit's due for her dig the first time around, but making a diving attempt there. Can't do it in an ace for Lauren Lee and the Dutch.
Seemed like that one just kind of took a spin or went in a direction that Ekins didn't really realize she was there, but...
Every once in a while you throw him the funny one and she finds the back corner for another ace.
And Lee in their last game had 2 back-to-back aces. She's done a great job with her serving so far in the last couple games. She's been dominating.
Great effort from the ball girl right there to keep the ball from going on the court to hit a fan as Calvin with Namiga fires away, but Phoebe able to pick it off the floor. Vanderweide softly over. Steen tried to put some steam on it. Marshall had it, and now it's Vanderslice. Knocked around, it's going to go over the net. Popped up, Burbridge for the block. Ends up with Hope. They're going to reset a little bit. Vanderweide with the push pass. Calvin keeps it up in the air, and this is the rally that we were hoping for. Vanderweide once again. Ekins with the diving attempt. Calvin still has a chance. The home run, and it goes over.
Oh my goodness.
Save right there from Alyssa DeVries. Vanderweide trying to make sure no one was going to save that, but Ekins picks it up. Baker, block, and it's going to be a point for the Ducks. Oh my goodness.
Now that, if that is not a true testament to the powerhouse of both of these programs, I don't know what is. The hustle, the defense, the hits, way to stick with the play, the nitty-gritty, it was awesome.
This is top-class D3 volleyball right here from these 2 programs, and they showed why right there. A couple fantastic plays on both sides. Ultimately ends up in a point for the Dutch. They are up 7-3 with a 1-0 set lead in set 2. We're going to take a break and be back. It's Hope Volleyball.
The River Place in downtown Holland redefines active senior living. A no-step floor plan is designed around your needs, so you can leave the worries of home ownership behind and enjoy a vibrant lifestyle right outside your door. the River Place your home. Visit resthaven.org/riverplace to reserve yours today.
The community has shown out here tonight, basically filling up the arena to see these titans of the Division III volleyball world going at it.
Got to give a shout out to Calvin's student section. They traveled really well tonight.
Absolutely. Wednesday night, and none of them must have class tomorrow to worry about. They all did their homework early.
Right.
Hope student section, no slouch as well. Of course, a little easier to walk the 10 minutes across campus than it is to drive. Lee serving for the Dutch with a 4-point lead. Going back to Aaron Baker are the Knights. Pushing it over is Vanderwide right back to Baker, who had several kills in the first set and gets, I believe, her first one of this set right there.
And Calvin, that's what they needed post timeout. You go back to your bread and butter, who is Baker. You know she's going to deliver. She struggled a little bit at the end of last set, but you know she's a great hitter. She's not going to struggle for long. So just a great idea by the Knights to go back to her to get that point back in their direction.
DeVries and Naminga sit down as Steen and Ekblau come back in for the Knights. Vanderswag serving. Vanderslice attempting to kill, missing wide.
Yeah, I mean, she hasn't gotten a lot of looks from that right side so far today. The looks she's gotten have been pretty good, but I hope they continue to set her because we're going to see some great things out of her.
Vanderswag to lefty. Marshall a little careless on that, but Vanderwide was able to make something of it. It hit the tape. Roll shot from Calvin, and it's going to catch the court.
You've seen a lot of savvy veteran moves from the Calvin hitters. They know exactly when to swing hard, when to make some of those roll shots that we just saw, tips over the block, and they've cut it to a 1-point game.
I was blocked out by the post. Couldn't tell if that was Steen or Ekblau who hit that one, but it's a 1-point advantage for the Dutch as Ekins receives the attack from Burbridge. Calvin tried to free ball it over, but it's going to go in favor of Hope. Brooke Fox comes on in favor of Grace Marshall. And Addie Vanderwide, the junior from Grand Rapids Christian, as you mentioned earlier, serving it up. Back set curl from Steen, went slow. Calvin out of sorts. Steen plays it over, and it's going to work. Hits the tape, and it tickles the twine.
And that was the front row that Calvin wanted there. I mean, lucky shot. But this is a great front line for them. They got a lot of options up front to hit.
Ekblau, Steen, and Ekins in the front for the Knights. Vanderslice, Burbridge, and Lee for the Dutch. Vanderslice essentially punches it over. Ekblau takes the first hit. Back row swinger from Baker. Back set for Vanderslice. Off the Calvin block. And it's down.
Great job by Marshall to get her hands on that block, made that first pass easy to Lee, and then Slice got that one down good.
Phoebing to serve it up. Hope with a 2-point lead, 9-7 second set with a 1-0 set lead. As Rubel receives. Vanderwide took it, wanted it back, but DeWeird puts it off the block and down.
Great quick move there by the Hope hitters. Again, I feel like I've heard and I've seen a lot about this Calvin blocking so far this season, and I just haven't seen it to the degree that I've heard of so far in this set. So we'll see if Calvin can get their blocks going to help them out on the defensive end.
It's not materialized as you would have anticipated, as Vanderswag and Baker miscommunicated and collided, but Calvin was able to get it over the net. Swing attempt from Fox. Hope out of sorts, and they almost get it over the net. Vanderslice threw it off the net. Lee did as well, but the point goes to the Knights.
Vanderwide doing her best to get her hand on that ball. Just couldn't quite get it up.
Not a lot of times you see somebody listed at 6'1" playing as much back row as she does.
I mean, testament to her and just the all-around player that she is.
Lee serving it up back row for Vanderwide. Change of pace off the top of the block, and Calvin's back line couldn't handle the tip drill.
Again, proving she can do it all. She can serve, she can dig, she can hit.
Sammy Seib comes out, or comes in as Vanderslice comes out. Vanderwide playing all over the court. Seib with a 3-point lead. A little errant by Baker, but She's going to get the set back from the back row. Dug out by Vanderweide. Cross court, tapped over. Calvin ready for it. Vanderswag picks it up. Calvin with the hit from Ekblau there. Coming back is Brooke Fox, and it's going to head into the press row.
The velocity on that ball, she hit that one hard. That was awesome. Great help by Sammy Sybie right there to make that setup for her to get that good hit.
Sybe ready to serve once again with a 4-point Dutch lead in the second set. Momentary break in the action. Now we're ready to go with the student section rocking the Spirit Fingers over there.
The Knights really need a side out here.
Sybe puts it at Ekins. Vanderswag puts it up, and it's out off the block. The kill going to Gabriella Kellogg.
Yeah, smart move by Kellogg. Sometimes you don't have to go up and over the block. Sometimes if you hit the block just right like she did there, it's still going to give you a point. So great job by Kellogg.
From our vantage point, it almost looked like that was straight back off the block, but wide enough that it was a miss. As Alyssa DeVries, the sophomore, with the serve, and the back row kill from Sammy Sybe gets the point for the Dutch.
Yeah, that one right close to our line judge right there.
In the back corner where no one was positioned for the Knights. And it's back to a 4-point Dutch lead with Grace Marshall sending it to Ekins. They've been targeting her on service a lot. Kellogg puts it off the tape. Lee for Vanderweide, and a double hit whistled for Lee. Rare error there for her, especially when she was camped underneath that one to set it up.
Yeah, not something we really see from her. And like you said, she had a lot of time to adjust that ball. But Calvin, they have Ekins up to serve, see if she can go on a little bit of a run to help them out.
She's been targeted for the Hope serves, trying to give it back a little bit. Marshall receives. Vanderweide with the roll shot, and Calvin nowhere near that area for the Hope point.
Again, great vision there. Had a lot of space in that middle section. Didn't have to hit it hard, just perfect roll shot.
Burbridge coming into the middle for Phoebe for the Dutch, as DeWeert is back to serve. 4-point lead, received by Rubel. In the middle for Kellogg. And they call it bump set spike for a reason.
I think it's fair to say that Kellogg's kind of been the reliable hitter here for the Knights in this second set so far. Doing a great job on her hits and placement-wise, diversifying that a lot, and maybe she can help them out on the serve too.
Martinez came on for Rubel moments ago for the Knights, as Burbridge gets just enough on it to go off the hands of Aaron Baker for the point.
Burbridge is such a smooth player. She just kind of elegantly glides through the air, gives herself time to see the court and adjust to that ball.
6'1" freshman out of Grand Haven, as Lauren Lee serves it up for the Knights. Amiga tried it. Marshall was there. Vanderslice with a roll. Picked up in the back row by DeVries for the Knights. Baker, big swing into the net.
I'm going to be honest, I think the Dutch got lucky there. If you were paying attention, Burbridge got awfully close to that bottom tape. I think she might have even touched it a little bit. Obviously, I'm not close to the court as the referees are, but Hope looking out on that one.
And a big point, too, pushes the lead to 16-11 here in the second set. Baker trying it again, and that is too easy for Aaron Baker.
Fair to say that I think Baker found her mojo back.
I would say so as well. Trina Vanderswag, the freshman, set to serve it up for the Knights. Marshall receives. Back set from Lee to Vanderslice. Tried to tip it over. Rubel was there. Back set for Naminga. Check that, Ekblau, and off the block.
Yeah, that was just a great shot right there. She got up high, right off the block. Beautiful.
The jump with the hair, and the net was blocking the 8 on the shirt. I thought it was a 10. Phoebe receives the service. Lee back set for Vanderslice, and finds the hole in the defense.
Great choice by Vanderslice. She had that ball she hit out of bounds a few points ago, and then the last couple sets that she's gotten, she's tipped over, and I think the Knights had adjusted to that. So for her to give a good full swing there was the smart decision.
It helps with a good bump and set to set her up for that, no pun intended. There as Vanderswag sets up Baker. They got an out call. no touch. And it's going to be a point for the Dutch. Calvin wanted a touch, but not conclusive enough for any of the officials to agree. Vanderswag serves to Ekins. Saved by Vanderswag. Over by Ekblau. And Hope was a little lost right there.
Yeah, that was just not a very coordinated set from either side. The Knights coming away with that. Baker back to serve.
18-14 Dutch lead. You're right, that was not great on either side. Calvin comes away with a point right there. Lee, tight set, able to knock it back to Burbridge, but it's sent back immediately by Ekblau and the Knights.
Yeah, that was a hard first pass. Lee doing the perfect job with that, but the Calvin wall was just there to stop it.
Well, and it's extra tough when it's that close. Not a whole lot Lee can do, like you said, but the Calvin defense knows it's coming in center right at her. They're able to set up as Vanderwide hits it. Baker digs it out. Ekins tries a swing. Phoebing picks it up. Lee, far side for Fox. Hits the block, and it's a point for the Knights.
And there's that duo that I was waiting to see all night between Ekblau and Martinez up front at the net. That double block is just lethal.
Rook Fox listed at 5'9", can usually get off the floor, but it's a hard tandem to get around those two. As Vanderwide puts it just long. Oh man, I thought that caught the line.
Oh, they have it looks like the down ref on the opposite side is calling a touch, possibly.
The ref on the Calvin side said that it was long. The down ref comes in and says no touch now. I think Hope wanted one. I personally didn't see one.
Yeah, I didn't see one either.
The authority. But in any case, huge break for the Knights, makes it 18-17, and Baker serving for Calvin. That's a nasty serve, and it's going to be an ace.
What a comeback from the Knights. I mean, we saw a similar comeback from the Dutch, right? It was just a little lower scoring in the first set. The Knights are punching it right back.
Yeah, a little bit of a run here. Partially surprised Becky Schmidt's letting this one ride out, but she's got confidence in her team as it's 18-18 and only need one side out to retake the lead.
No surprise, Baker's the one serving as they go on this run.
Lead at Vanderwide, and not sure if it was a block or the tape that got it, but it's another point for Calvin, and there's the timeout.
Yeah, smart move by Schmidt there. I don't think that was block. I think that got more tape. I mean, the Calvin block was there. I think they would have gotten it regardless, but smart move by Schmidt.
The Calvin student section fired up here as the Dutch take a 19-18 lead. Late in the second set, there's still several points to be played as Hope's got a timeout. We'll be back in a few seconds. This is Hope Volleyball.
In a Hope Forward model, every student who comes through the doors of Hope College would have their tuition 100% covered.
Second set, 19-18 lead for the Knights here. They're down 1-0, but on the cusp of tying it up. Eric Van Swal on the call alongside Carly Van Swal, bringing you this edition of the rivalry. Calvin with one loss. Check that, 2 losses on the season. Hope with 1 loss. And somebody's going to add to that total tonight and have a conference loss to boot. Lauren Lee backs set for Vanderslice. Roll shot picked up by Rubel. Her teammates got it up in the air around her. Free ball over. Burbridge with the big swing. And it sends the student section into a frenzy.
Great job by Burbridge, seeing that most of the Calvin defense was up high. They really needed that. They were hitting only about 139 while Calvin's hitting at a 226 right now. They really needed that ball to land.
Rubel takes the service there. And it's going to be long on the swing from Steen. Check that, Martinez. And there's no touch, so it's going to be point for the Dutch. Phoebe sending it over on the service. Ekblau, but it's dug well by Lee. Back row swing, off balance from Vanderweide, handled easily by Vandersweg. And Ekblau off the block for the Dutch. Easy call. Point for the Knights.
Yeah, Ekblau doing a great job on that right side, making the most of that ball. Hope struggling defensively a little bit on that last play.
You get to see the replay of the kill right there from the side angle camera that was moved off center by the referee as DeWeerd flipped it over. Calvin coming back with the roll shot from Kellogg. Lee to DeWeerd again. Timing was interesting there, but got it through. Vandersweg dug out by Lee, if you can call it that. Vanderweide gives a free ball to Fox. Calvin coming back with it. It's Kellogg again. Lee, Vanderweide, and Fox taps it over. A longer rally here. Vandersweg. A lot of Vanders out here. Rubel to Baker. Phoebe and Hope giving chase. Vanderweide keeps it in play. Phoebe gets it over. Can Hope reset their defense as Calvin comes back with it. Kellogg with the push, and it's long!
I mean, Kellogg had a lot of space in those corners. Vanderweide was really the only one back. If she could have just taken a little bit off that ball and landed it, would have been the perfect shot, but alas, a little too strong.
It was a great effort by her. She almost aimed it just a little bit too much. Hope was all out of sorts after the big-time chase down. Great effort there from Vanderweide and the Dutch to go up 21-20. Calvin doing their best to give Sammy Seib the business on the serve. Baker Fields, Kellogg with the swing. Phoebe gets it up. Fox, and it's going to go into the stands.
Kellogg again making her presence known in this set. Great cut shot there. Perfect placement. That was a really hard ball to get up.
Vandersweg and Ekblau out for DeVries and Naminga. Seems to be the Calvin rotation that they preferred. DeVries with Naminga and Ekblau in conjunction, as that one's fielded by Phoebe. Lee on the roll, it's DeWeerd, and we got a touch on the backside ref. It was long, but the touch gives Hope the point, and that's a great call by that official. That was right at the net.
Yeah, that was a hard call, but the right one was made.
Grace Marshall with a 1-point lead, gives it to Ekins. Near side for Kellogg, and the Thunder from down under.
Back to back from Kellogg. Just great, powerful hits. And great job by Calvin's back line. If you've noticed, Hope's servers have avoided Rubble, the all-time leading passer and digger for the Calvin Knights. Great job in her 5th year here as a libero, but great job by the other two in the back row for the Knights.
And Calvin catching a break. Hope caught with a double right there. And it's 23-22. Ekins, who had a serving run in the first set, service error right there, and it's 23-23. Could we see some quote-unquote OT here?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Both teams got to keep playing with that urgency. We're going to see a couple subs here. Looks like Hope's going in for the height and the length up there for the blocking ability.
Defense for offense, sophomore Jenna James at a Grand Ledge, the middle hitter listed at 6'2". On with Burbridge and Vanderweide in the front row, and the blocking strategy does not pay off.
It is an interesting one. We've seen Lee get a lot of those first balls in this set. Sometimes on purpose, sometimes by accident. She's just the person in the mix. So I think it's probably a smart choice to bring her back. But I like the switch up and the strategy change.
Hey, you know, if it would have worked, we would have been calling her a genius.
Exactly.
Lee with the quick set over the net. That's blocked. Phoebe with the pass set off balance from Vanderweide. That was pretty good for what she had, but Aaron Baker gives it to Grace Marshall with a great dig. Phoebe free balls over the net. Kellogg from the back row gives it up. Baker once again tapped, and here's a rally right here. Marshall going for Vanderweide far side off the block. Calvin, do they have a chance? And it goes sailing into the student section. 24-24 here in the second set.
Vanderweide making some really good plays off of some hard balls, and just great job to keeping that alive.
There was, I think, 3 times in that play that I really thought Hope was not going to win that point, and somehow they came away with it.
testament to that back row, too, keeping those balls up and
Vanderslice coming in for Seib in the meantime with Lauren Lee setting it up 24-24, and she sends it into the net.
Very uncharacteristic for Lee. But looks like you get the overtime that you wanted.
Hey, I didn't say that I wanted it, but hey, the more volleyball we get here, the better for everybody, I think.
Very true.
Except for the fans, because they got to listen to me talk more. But other than that, Trina Vanderswag, set point. Calvin can knot it up at 1. Going back to the tried and true Vanderwide, and she puts it down when it counts. Erin Baker is astonished that that was called in. We did not have an angle from where we were at over here. The press box in the way. Hope gets it to go. Vanderwide to serve, knotted up at 25. Gets it over, just the first step. Baker wanted it back, but instead it goes to Martinez on the curl, and it's 4 hits from the Knights.
Yeah, Martinez, Hope's block was there. They didn't really have to do anything as that one was hit straight into the net. Looks like we got some water, some sweat on the ground that we're gonna wipe up as we take a timeout.
And Calvin gonna use their second timeout this set. 26-25 set point for the Dutch. Potentially upcoming. Calvin in danger of going down 2-0 in a hostile environment like DeVos Fieldhouse. The student section is gonna take us out. It's Hope Volleyball.
My name is Meg Morehouse. I'm a senior this year, and I'm studying physical education and health. I am on the women's basketball team. We won the national championship when I was a junior. It was unbelievable. The education department at Hope allowed me to realize my passion about teaching. Anytime I get to go into a classroom and work with students, I just get really excited. My goal when I graduate would be to be a middle school physical education and health teacher. Hope does an amazing job of preparing their students for what is to come in the future.
As an invested community partner, LVZ is proud to help share Hope's stories of transformational impact.
Hope with the lead and the service is going to be Addie Vanderwide, looking to make it 2-0 in favor of the Dutch. Had their first loss of the season to Wisconsin Oshkosh last Saturday, and so far they have put that behind them. Calvin ready to go here as Ekins receives. Vanderswag gets blocked by the Dutch, but a net violation is going to be called right there on Burbridge.
Great.
She doesn't like it. You mentioned that it was possible earlier.
It's a good break there for the Knights and the tried and true Baker in the back to serve.
Calvin was going to be in trouble if that block had counted, as Baker just slides that one over the top of the tape. Brooke Fox with the swing, and it's down. No one around.
Good spot by Fox. Seeing Baker was the only one that was really far back, getting it close to the line. Great shot.
The cross-court ripper gives Hope another chance at the set point. This time Olivia Phoebing to serve it away. Goes to Rubble there. Off the block, Hope with an opportunity. Vanderslice for the win, and the touch is good. The Dutch take set 2, 28-26.
What an exciting win. I mean, I knew it was going to be close every set, but Hope can't get comfortable. I said this in the beginning. That's going to be a huge key for them going into this third set. We know Calvin is a powerhouse program. They're a powerhouse team. I mean, they only got 2 losses themselves. They don't lose 2 sets in a row. So the Dutch better expect a big punch back from the Knights as we go into this.
Absolutely. Keep the foot on the gas if they want to try to take it 3-0. If anything, we know it's going to be exciting. We'll be back in a few. It's Hope Volleyball, 2-0 lead for the Dutch heading to set 3.
In those experiences, you can help others and uplift those.
There is a school whose namesake is not a founder, not a historical figure, not a state, city, or physical landmark. It is named after an ideal, a virtue, a way of life. Its name is Hope.
Whether you're building your dream home, buying a fixer-upper, or downsizing, the process can feel overwhelming. Let the local team at Lighthouse Title help the closing process be one less worry. Just ask your real estate professional or lender to close at Lighthouse Title. To learn more about how we are involved in our 35 communities or to ask us any questions about the process, visit us online at lighthousetitle.net.
Getting ready for the start of the third set here. Hope with a 2-0 lead, winning the first one after a big-time comeback, 25-21. Hope winning the second one in overtime, 28-26. Calvin looking for something here.
We saw a lot of great consistency by the Flying Dutch in that last set. Keeping points alive, the back row hustling and doing a great job of keeping points alive. Hitters diversifying shots, getting good looks. Blocks being up at the net, making the Knights adjust. Calvin honestly did a lot of similar stuff, right? We saw a lot of the same stuff on both ends. A true testament to how good their program is and how well they've done today. The dice just hasn't rolled in their favor so far, but they are putting in the equal amount of work in the back row and at the nets. It should be a very exciting third set.
Sometimes it just comes down to those 50-50 balls, and a couple have gone Hope's way. And Calvin, unfortunately, through two sets, has nothing to show for it, despite, like you said, a fantastic effort and really tight contest. Alyssa DeVries set to set it off with the first serve for the Knights, trying to get back on track. They find Grace Marshall in the back row. Phoebe sets it up for Vanderweide. She put down the first 2 points of the second set, but Calvin gets it right there. Emma Ekblau, the sophomore, off the block.
We saw Ekblau come alive a little bit in that second set. I mean, Kellogg was probably the go-to. Baker helped out here and there. But Ekblau just adding another element for the Knights offense on that right side.
Baker had, what, 7 kills in the first set, it felt like?
Yeah.
It felt like she had 25, actually, as Vanderweide is able to get it to go. She hung up there and knocks it down. But I feel like Baker's been a little bit quiet the second set, and obviously third set, but we're 2 points in on the third set. Allison DeWeerd ready to serve for the Dutch. Calvin resetting their rotation. And now DeWeerd fires it over. Baker receives, but not well. Trying to make up for it with a back row spike. And it's into the net.
Calvin just got to take a breath. Still a 1-point game. Go back to their kind of basics. Gets that good first ball that DeVries can set up well to a hitter.
2-1 Dutch early going third set. They take this one. They take the match. But Erin Baker, if she has anything to say about it, He is not going to let that happen easily with a kill right there.
And that's the trio you want, right? You want Rubel with a pass, DeVries with a great set, and you can count on Baker for a slam home.
Said it once, I'll say it again. Sometimes it's just as easy as bump set spike. The quick back set from Lee there, nifty, but Calvin was ready for it. But the miss right there from Martinez gives it to the Dutch.
Great job by that block, too, for the Dutch to kind of pull their hands away so they wouldn't get called for a tip.
And great position for that. Saw that it was going to go long. Made the decision to pull off. Lee with the serve. Ekblau, awkward, but it's going to hit the deck. Not the greatest of serves, but it works.
Right. And Ekblau making the most of that set right there, finding the open spot in the middle. Had a lot of grass to play with.
Aubrey Rubel, the 5th year out of Jenison, serving it for the Knights. Man, that had some steam on it and was a centimeter above the net as Vanderweide puts it into the waiting arms of Baker, and the alley-oop from Burbridge.
And you just call that like a birthday cake. Happy birthday to me, beautiful, right off the set. Burbridge, just way to finish it off.
That's like an interception thrown to a defensive back in football where there's absolutely nothing but green grass in front of him, and he just waltzes into the end zone.
That's your favorite play.
Vanderweide serving for the Dutch. Kellogg finds the back corner. I thought Calvin was out of sorts on that one, and then all of a sudden Kellogg, from a different area code, put it in a tight window.
Yeah, the senior showing up, showing some great leadership on the court with that hit.
Ekblau and DeVries coming off as Namiga comes back on with Ekins. So Calvin switching up their personnel from the first couple sets as that one slides through the fingers of Brooke Fox for the ace for Vanderswag and the Knights.
And great job by the freshmen on both ends, right? Burbridge showing out for Hope. Vanderswag for the Knights doing a great job on their end as well for their first rivalry game.
That one off the hands of Vanderweide, and it's a point for the Knights. Vanderswag back to serve. With how much West Michigan's out here and the amount of vans tonight, we think we're working overtime as the ace comes. Phoebe a little off balance trying to receive that one. That looked like a knuckler from my angle.
Knights really capitalizing on the great serving of Vanderswag. Hope in dire need of a side out.
Ekins went on a run in the first set. This time it's Vanderswag. Too close to the net. Lee one-handed set twice, and the second time around couldn't make it happen. Great effort from her, but another point for the Knights, and we're going to get a timeout for the Dutch. A little bit similar start to the first set when Calvin was up 12-6. They're up 8-4 here. We'll be back after these messages. Calvin leading the third set 8-4, but Hope leading the match 2-0. It's Hope Volleyball. Third set action at DeVos Fieldhouse. Eric Van Swal alongside Carly Van Swal, bringing you this edition of the volleyball rivalry. We know it's not going to be done. These two teams will meet later this season as Calvin trying to win their first set here at DeVos Fieldhouse. Now up 8-4 this set, but down 2-0. Little all over the place. Baker puts it over. Lee receives. Digs it out. Vanderslice softly over the net. Back set from Vanderswag to Namiga, and it's into the net for the Dutch.
Misplaced timing there between Vanderswag and Namiga. Namiga, I think, expecting a little bit different of a set, not so low to the net, but worked out for Hope.
Well, and it's extra tough, too, when you're moving, expecting to take a full jump, and then the set's a little bit lower, and you think you got to twist off balance in midair as Phoebe fires it over the net into the waiting arms of Rubel. Kellogg tried to push it over, got blocked, but it probably helped her that it got blocked.
Yeah.
Naminga with the tip, Vanderslice, diving effort, and it goes into press row.
Great job by Vandersweg, making her way from one end of the court to the other to get those sets up for her hitters.
A little bit surprised by Hope's defense on that one, why they weren't more ready. It was a great effort from Vanderslice, couldn't quite control it. And now Avery Ekins, the junior out of Kalamazoo Christian, serving to Addie Vandersweg, excuse me, for the Dutch. But it's going to be 4 hits from Hope.
Good first pass. Hope had the first pass. Usually that's the hardest part, but that block and just the presence that the Knights have at the net right now has been killer for this Dutch offense.
Calvin looking more like you'd expect him to here in this third set. 10-5 advantage, and right as I say that, it sails long. Ekins went on that run in the first set. I think she ripped off 5 in a row and has had 3 service errors since then.
Vanderweide doing a good job of fouling that ball to the line, making sure it goes out.
Simon for Vanderslice, ready to serve it up. Hope down 4 this set. Ooh, great set right there from Vandersweg. Dug out by Seib on the attack from Naminga. Calvin with it back. It's Baker with a big swing. Rejected by the Dutch defense.
Weird. Props to her on those 2 back-to-back hits. I mean, she was the key to Hope in that point right there, doing a great job on the block. Fantastic.
5'7" Lauren Lee putting her blocking effort on as well. Calvin, great effort to get that over from Rubel. Quick set, but Rubel was ready for it. Off the Dutch, Naminga hits a couple Hope defenders and the referee.
And the assistant coach.
And yeah. So 4 hits there on Hope's side, if you count the ref, but that was Calvin's point. 8 ways to Sunday, and it's 11-7 here in the third set. Just over, mishandled by Seib. Hope's going to get it over the net, though. Phoebe puts it over. Ekins fields. Quick trigger for Martinez, and it's enough.
Martinez wanted that ball right away. You can see she did a great job even before she was in the air, scanning the front row of the Dutch defense to see where there was an opening, and plopped it right in the perfect spot.
Gabriella Kellogg serving. Seib, good handle on that. The curl from DeWeerd. Calvin puts it up. Vandersweg gets it over. That might have gone out, but Seib decides to play it. She knows better than I do. Fox with the big swing. Kellogg picked it up, and the set over the net works for the Knights.
The freshman really showing out for the Knights, doing a great job on the serving. Now making some big points, big hits, and even a good little tip over the net by the Knights. We haven't seen that over from her either side really today, so smart move.
DeWeerd tried to put a charge in one, and that was so tight to the net, it took me a second to figure out who got that point, but it was blocked onto Calvin's side of the net, so it's going to be a point for the Dutch. Had to wait for the official signal. Grace Marshall serving. Baker receives. Hope down 5 this set. Block right there from Vanderweide and DeWeerd, and it's going to go down for a point for the Dutch.
And again, we saw it in the first set. Hope slowly making their way back point by point, and that's what they seem to be doing right here.
They were down 12-6 in the first set as that one tickles the tape from Marshall on the serve, but Baker's going to find the floor anyways.
Just somehow perfectly finding the spot between the block. Great line shot.
She coming into this match, she was tied for 3rd in the MIAA, oh my goodness, with 3.57 kills per set. Have to imagine that's going to be going up tonight. As DeVries serves to Marshall for the Dutch. DeWeerd gets the touch. And it goes back to Hope for a serve.
DeWeerd being a monster at that net, blocking, hitting, really being a go-to person up front for the Dutch.
She's now serving as Burbridge comes back on for the Dutch. Ekins with the first pass. The hammer from Baker is not enough. Burbridge passes it over. And it's a net violation against the Knights.
Baker, that was a good swing, and she's going to continue to have good swings up front, but that Dutch defense, getting your hands on the block, even just getting it up, gets your defenders in the back a little extra time to get under it for a good pass. So great job by the block up front to set them up.
Baker tries to change of pace. Calvin sends it over anyways on the rebound. Burbridge, and it's going to go just long. The official was all over that one and then some.
I like the idea, the quick set to the middle. Just couldn't execute quite well.
They've hit that a couple times the first couple sets and it's worked, but not that time as Baker serves with a 15-11 advantage for Calvin here in the third set. Going back to the bread and butter of Addie Vanderweide, and it works.
It looked like Ekblau there just a little, when she jumped a little bit too far to the outside of that block. Martinez, I think if it would have double blocked closer together, they would have gotten it, but Martinez struggled just solo on that
one. A little bit of an over-rotation as that one over-rotates out of play on the service error from Hope. And it's 16-12 with Aubrey Rubel serving. Rocking the yellow libero outfit. Nasty serve right there. Vanderweide able to corral it a little bit. Hope free balls it over with Fiebing. The back set to Ekblau. Coming back with it for Hope is Vanderweide, and she finds the floor as well.
Vanderweide, just great finesse on the shot. Again, she doesn't always try to be fancy. She's just so consistent, does what she needs to do, and picks the right shot.
Brooke Fox on for Grace Marshall in the meantime. Vanderweide now serving. Ekins, DeVries, and Ekblau, and Ekblau gets blocked by the Dutch defense. Fox and Burbridge combine.
Burbridge stuck with that one. She got a little touch on the block and then tipped it right back over. That was a smart move.
16-14 Calvin. Hope on a little bit of a run. Vanderweide serving to Baker. DeVries with the set. Not the greatest set, but Kellogg makes the most of it. I'm actively avoiding trying to say that she turned it into Frosted Flakes.
Well, I was going to say that she probably ate her Wheaties this morning earlier, but didn't, you know.
Hey, you know, sometimes when it's right there, you really can't. Trina Vanderswag, great serve. Good dig by Fox to get it up. Calvin coming back with it. Ekins swinging on it. Vanderweide diving effort. Back set from Lee to Vanderslice. Off the block, and it's a touch.
Cool to see Vanderslice get a good shot there. She's been kind of hot and cold so far in the first two sets, so for her to get one down good is definitely a confidence builder.
Especially at this juncture, 17-15. We've seen it twice where right about this time it's been back and forth, and then Hope kind of takes over the first two sets. We'll see what happens this time around as a great punch set from Lee. Fox tried to standing spike it, but the official says it went outside of the out of bounds stick, and so it's going to be Calvin point.
Yeah, that one just outside the antenna there.
That's right. My mind just went completely blank for a moment, and I was like, oh, no, that is not going to come to me. Brooke Fox tries again, gets up in the air, and gets it down for the Dutch to save me from the continued embarrassment of failing to recall what the antenna was momentarily. As Sammy Saib comes on for Liz Vanderslice. And it's 18-16. Once again, this is going to come down to the wire, you have to imagine. Saib serving a Rubel. Vanderswag, and Kellogg rips it for the Knights.
It's really cool to see Calvin's hitters just be able to pick up where others may be slacking. We saw Baker powerhouse in the first set. We've seen other hitters come alive in the second, and just Kellogg to make herself known and be that person that they need in this third set, and even towards the end of the second set last time, is really awesome.
The curl from DeWeerd, an insult to injury. She gets blocked, and it goes off her dome. And it's going to be a timeout for the Dutch, as it's now a 20-16 advantage for Calvin, and they're going to have to serve as well. Hope leading 2-0 here in the third, but Calvin threatening to take one. We'll be back after these messages. It's Hope College Volleyball.
Custer Insurance Agency is a proud sponsor of Hope Athletics.
It's Hope College versus Calvin University here at DeVos Fieldhouse. Hope with a Calvin with a 20-16 lead here in the third set. Hope with a 2-0 lead in overall sets. We thank you fans for riding along with us. I'm Eric Van Swal with Carly Van Swal on the call. Normally you'd hear Scott Vanderstoop, but he's out gallivanting across the world, and we appreciate him wherever he's at, as well as all our other fans across the world, especially those out there on the West Coast listening in California.
We got Calvin and Hope fans from all over, so we welcome you no matter where you are.
And the Calvin fans going to be delighted with how that one turned out, as Kellogg aces Olivia Feebing to push the lead to 5 for the Knights.
Really important side out here for the Dutch.
Going back to Feebing as Kellogg. She handles it that time. Brooke Fox with the roll, and the defense was wide open in the middle for Calvin.
We've seen a few more roll shots from Vanderwide so far, so it's smart by Fox to switch it up. And she had a lot of real estate to play with as well, as the middle was wide open.
Not sure what Calvin was doing there as Marshall sends it over to Ekins. In the middle, the block is good, but it's out of bounds. Great effort from DeWeerd, but Martinez gets the kill.
Yeah, just wasn't able to get that block down. Great job by being there, but awesome job by Martinez for hitting the perfect spot on the block.
Vanderswag and Namiga come off as Ekblau and DeVries come on. DeVries serving with a 5-point Calvin lead. Lee, great set for Vanderwide. It's up, it's down, and it's a Hope point.
Vanderwide too, tried and true. Her swing is just so pure and beautiful, and we really need that power.
She put it all on display right there as DeWeerd tries to cut into this Calvin lead. Catches it off the side of her hand, and it goes out. Tough service error there.
Yeah, it's hard to come back from.
Aaron Baker trying to run out the clock on this third set for the Dutch. Lee puts it up for Vanderwide. Great effort from Baker. She couldn't quite get on and off of the deflection from the block. I believe Ekblau got a hand on that. Hope stays alive momentarily. And after my antenna lapse moments ago, I feel like I have to clarify. I understand there is no clock. That was a metaphor. As it is 23-19 in favor of Calvin. Diving effort from the Dutch. Burbridge gets it over. Picked up by DeVries for the Knights. And the spike right there from the sophomore from Chesterton, Indiana. Emma Ekblau puts the Knights 1 point away from their first set victory tonight.
Setters on each end kind of got their dream lineup up front. Lots of options to go to. Ekblau is the one that delivers. Hope's blocked just a little too far off the net to get that to go back on the other side.
Hope's got to get 5 in a row to stay in it in this set, and that's one way to start it off with Liz Vanderslice pile driving it into the stands.
Vanderslice just subbed in, has only been in for a couple points, but making her presence known. Great shot on that right side.
Hope may not come back to win this one, but like you said, the last couple kill attempts from Vanderslice have got to be really confidence boosting, as miscommunication from Calvin right there, mishandled by Baker, and an ace from Vanderwide. Calvin does not want to give this one away with a 5-point lead and only 1 point to go before the victory here in this set. So they're going to take a timeout with it being 24-21. Hope's going to have the set. When we come back, it's Hope Volleyball.
Yeah, my name is Travis Williams. I'm the CEO of the ODC Network. I graduated from Hope in 1998. I studied biology, and then I also played football. In order to be successful, people really need more than just the academic experience, but they need people to come alongside them and help them, coach them, mentor them. I find that Hope College has just been one of the best examples of being able to do that anywhere.
As an invested community partner, LVZ is proud to help share Hope stories of transformational impact.
24-21 in the third set. Calvin with the advantage, and they need it.
great choice by Amber Warner in her 22nd year at Calvin, to make that timeout. Vanderwide, a great choice for Hope to have back to serve. That's probably one of their top 3 picks to be back there right now in such a close game.
Warner's has seen a thing or two and has seen several great matches in this building. This one adding to the lexicon of history, as that was a great dig from Vanderwide. The block from Calvin keeps it up in the air. Kellogg for the put away. Burbridge and Vanderslice combined for the block. Back row from Baker, no touch, and it's long.
I mean, that was just luck for Hope right there. I mean, it looked like a good hit, just missed the line.
And talk about sports being a game of inches. That was one in many facets, as Calvin still has a chance to put away the Dutch this set, and Gabriella Kellogg puts the exclamation point on it for the Knights in this one.
And are we not surprised of who finished that match out for Calvin, given the first win in this match so far?
Well, hey, you said pre-set that Calvin was going to come after him. Hope can't get complacent, and I wouldn't argue that they were complacent on that necessarily, but Calvin really showed out, gave them their best, and it's going to be an interesting 4th set upcoming. Hope still has an opportunity to lock up the match in this set. Calvin going to try to push it to 5. After this, you're watching the rivalry. It's Hope Volleyball.
My name's Emma Duttmers, and I'm a communications major, and then I'm minoring in environmental studies. I play soccer. The first soccer game of my junior year, I tore my ACL. Our athletic trainer, Annie, was there for me right when it happened, and she was there for me literally every step of the way. That was definitely a huge growing opportunity for me, and it was really hard, but it really pushed me to be a leader with more of my voice because I couldn't lead by example on the field. It definitely made me take a step back and realize how much there is to be grateful for.
As an invested community partner, LVZ is proud to share Hope stories of transformational impact.
My name is Evan Thomas. I'm a rising senior at Hope College. I'm a biology major and a chemistry minor on the pre-med track, and I play basketball here. Hope's really defined my goals and defined the path I want to set for myself. Coach Mitchell has been a big catalyst in my growth here at Hope, as well as many professors, specifically my lab professor, Dr. Calvo. I hope to use what I've learned here at Hope to continue my research in medical school. Through medicine, I hope I can erase healthcare disparities.
I'm Ryan Vanderswart. As an invested community partner, LVZ is proud to help share Hope College's stories of transformational impact.
It's 2-1 here at DeVos Fieldhouse. The Ducks hold the lead as we start set 4. Eric Van Swal here alongside Carly Van Swal. It's been a good one so far, Carly. What kind of stats can you throw at us?
I was just noticing the biggest difference for Calvin between set 2 and set 3, their side out percentage, so their reception of those serves was 57% in that second set and was 68% in the third set. That's 10% better. And those changes to give them the ball back have really made the difference for them in that third set.
As Calvin gets the first point, and when you lose the first set by 4 and the second set by 2, 10% in receipt is a massive difference.
Yeah, great job. Kellogg led the way in that third set in hitting percentage at 480. Ekblau wasn't far behind at 390. And then De Weert and Van der Weide held down the fort for the Dutch.
Lee picks that one up. Van der Weide picks it up and puts it down.
I expect to see a lot more of Van der Weide in this fourth set here. She's been, I mean, we say she's been quiet. She's been all over the place, but I expect to see her involved a lot more at the net.
You would say from a kill perspective, she's more quiet than you would anticipate as Baker fields that one. And the middle set is blocked by Burbridge.
Oh my goodness. Just straight back down.
That was absolutely filthy. Big time block there as De Weert serves it up. Back set right there, and Calvin returns the favor. Emma Ekblau pounding the set from Alyssa Davis.
I mean, Calvin, even though that last hit was blocked, just packing the punch right there, proves the point. That's a hard ball to return.
It's 2-2 with Rubel serving for the Knights. In the middle for Burbridge. Calvin somehow keeps it alive, and now it's going to go in favor of the Dutch.
Rubel did the best she could there, being closer up towards the net, but Calvin, or Hope, capitalized on it.
Lauren Lee serving for the Dutch. 3-2 lead here in the fourth set. Grace Marshall receives, tapped over from Van der Weide, and then she slings the hammer.
Great adjustment from Van der Weide to get back off the net to reposition herself. I mean, she didn't get all the way back for a good approach, but she still gave herself enough space to be able to hit that ball well.
I believe that was Ekblau for Calvin in the front, trying to receive that as Ekins takes the serve from Lee, and the thunder from down under. Gabriella Kellogg gives a point to the Knights.
Great power, great cross-court vision. Great all around.
She's had it really working the last set and a half or so. As Trina van der Zweig serving it up for the Knights. Phoebe passes it over to Lee, who has to hustle to get it. Marshall gets it over Rubel, and the back row from Kellogg, hesitation, and Hope's defense was ready for it.
Miscommunication there by the Knights. They had plenty of people there to be able to retrieve that ball. I mean, it was a little funky off the block, but couldn't get it up.
Van der Weide ready to serve. 5-3 lead for the Dutch, 2-1 lead overall in the fourth set. And Calvin, as my dad likes to say, husband and wife did, stared at each other, and the ball falls to the turf.
Back-to-back miscommunications from the Knights. This side out is important.
Van der Weide puts it in almost the same spot. Ekins was ready for it. Baker gives it up for Kellogg, and this time Hope's defense not in the right spot for that semi-cross-court kill.
That one would have been close to that back corner. Would have been interesting if that would have stayed in, but I think it was smart by Van der Weide to make an attempt at it.
I believe there was a deflection on there as well, so she had to make the effort to go for it. Ekins puts it into the arms of Phoebe. Middle set for Burbridge, fielded by van der Zweig. Baker puts a charge into one, but Phoebe digs it out. Back row from Van der Weide, and it's gonna go down.
Great back row hit from Van der Weide. It's always nice to know that you have someone in the back row and that ball's so far off the net that you can rely on to get it in and score points for you.
Just the 6'1" junior transfer, who has done everything from serve to dig to occasionally set and spike in the ace. Goes up from the student section as Phoebe gets it done there.
And that is exactly how Hope needed to come out on this fourth set. Start out strong. They played with urgency. Great job.
8-4 lead, and Calvin's going to take a timeout. This is the best start Hope has had tonight. Calvin going to look to reset, try to knot it up at 2 sets apiece here in the fourth set. We'll be back after this. It's Hope Volleyball.
My name is Megan Bigelow, and during my time there, I was on the Hope women's soccer team. I decided to choose Hope because of the opportunity to be involved in multiple things. I didn't want to go somewhere where I was just a number in the field. I was able to double major, experience both a business academic load as well as economics. I loved the opportunity to really get to know my professors. Hope exceeded my expectations.
I'm Nate Bauman. As an invested community partner, we're proud to help share Hope's stories of transformational impact.
Fourth set action in this edition of the rivalry. Hope is up 2-1 and 8 points to 4. Carly, what has Calvin got to do to get back on track?
I think just calm down a little bit. Stay on your toes. Great first pass. Adjust. They're down by 4. It's not the end of the world. We've seen both teams come back from worse. They know what to do. They're a fantastic team. They just got to make the connections.
Phoebe serving for the Dutch. Kellogg puts it over the net. Hope with a chance to attack. It's Brooke Fox, picked up by Vanderswag. Baker had a pretty good look at it after a couple tough passes. Middle kill attempt from DeWeerd goes down.
And you've seen Lee have a lot of confidence in her hitters. She's been able to mix it up in the front row. We've seen a lot from the middle and outside. Vanderslice has come in and doing a great job on that right side to open it up, making it really hard for the Calvin Knights to expect what's going to happen.
Yeah, Lee with 86 set attempts and 41 assists as Calvin gets the point right there.
And here's that front row that Calvin loves. Vanderswag's got a lot of options up front.
Looking to cut into this 4-point deficit. Kellogg serving, a little bit mishandled by Brooke Fox, but she handles that one appropriately and knocks it off the block.
Again, great job by Fox. She was there. Good quick set from Lee that allowed, the Calvin Black was there, but just a little bit too far off the net to be able to get it back.
And it's a 10-5 Hope College advantage. With Seib serving to Ekins. Baker dug out by Vanderwide. Tipped over from DeWeerd, saved by Vanderswag. Baker with the tip. Hope keeps it up, punching it back and forth as DeWeerd and Lee. It gets over. Ekins digs it out. Cross court attempt from Naminga goes nowhere. Fox put it over for the Dutch. Martinez. Side puts it up in the air. Far side for Fox, cross court, dug out by Rubel. Near side Baker with the touch, Phoebe with a diving one-hand stab. Fox puts it back over, diving effort there from Ekins. Testing my vocal cords as Baker puts it over the net in this rally. And DeWeerd finally puts it away for the Dutch and sends this crowd into a pandemonium.
Hope's gotten lucky so far today, winning a lot of the big rallies. Lee just is so shifty. She does a great job of keeping balls that are so close to the net alive. You mentioned punching it. She's tapped it back towards her offense. But Hope, the back row, a lot of great digs from Vanderwide and from, Fiebing in the back.
And a service error right there from the Dutch. The long rally on the previous point, the emphasis for me had to be for Olivia Phoebing, the diving one-armer, keeping it alive after a strong stroke from Baker, who we've seen knock several kills in tonight. Hope with a 5-point advantage as DeVries sends it to Phoebing. Vanderwide back row from Seib, picked up by DeVries. Baker with a cut shot. Middle hit. Hope keeps it up in the air. Can Fox get it over the net, over the antenna? And she does. Calvin coming back with it, and that one's not getting sent back in any universe.
Holy cow, Baker. No mercy on that shot.
Let some rage from the last couple sets out in that one, all in one.
Calvin running this 6-2 offense with DeVries and Vanderswag as the setters just gives them so many options at front and just different variations that they can run.
Rubel set it up for Ekblau, and she gets it to go. Calvin cuts it to 11-8.
And now all Calvin needs is a big hit from Martinez, and they got the trifecta going.
Alyssa DeVries serving back row. Vanderwide, great effort from Rubel. Calvin's leader in digs in school history. Vanderwide puts it up. The curl for DeWeerd, and it was almost blocked, but it falls on the side of the Knights.
DeWeerd doing a great job seeing that block of Martinez, and I believe it was Ekblau. They slide over to the right side. She shot it just past, more towards the middle, to finding the open space on the net to sneak it over.
Grace Marshall with a boring serve right there, but Martinez gets it off the block. And why I say boring, it felt like it was going to go through concrete. That was just a straight ball. Baker serving, 3-point deficit for the Knights. High jump serve. Marshall to Seib. Vanders wide. Couldn't corral it, was the Calvin defense. I believe that was Baker with the effort. No fault of her own. With the 100-mile-an-hour coming at her. DeWeerd set to serve. Have done a good job serving tonight. Rubel back set. It's blocked. Ekblau, she got out of the way of it, but it lands in play for the Flying Dutch.
Burbridge just holding down fort at that net, being an absolute wall. Solo, she doesn't even need any help.
She's got 4 blocks tonight. Looking to add to it right here. That one gets through from Ekins and is down.
She's got great height on that jump. Snuck it through fast.
Put it right through the defense there. Speaking of someone who does a little bit of everything, she's done a little bit of everything. So, served 14 times, received the serve 28 times, 11 digs, and that's her second official kill. As Hope has to pass it over the net. Calvin almost gave away a point there. Kellogg gets partially blocked. Burbridge from the middle, and it's going to go down for the Dutch.
Great bump set spike there. Simple, clean, all you need.
And a timeout. Oh, check that. That was not a timeout. That was a substitution request. With Lauren Lee serving for Hope. DeVries with the set and the power from the back row of Baker. Hope somehow keeps it alive. Rubel with the passing set for Kellogg. Hope again has to scramble. Vanderwide sends it over. Ekins wanted it right back, but it went over to Ekblau. The block was there, but it falls out of bounds.
That's exactly what Calvin needed, making it a 4-point game. Get a couple substitutions in here, get the serve back.
Vanderswag and Naminga, the 2 freshmen, seeing a lot of play time tonight for the Knights. Vanderswag serving. Grace Marshall for the Dutch receiving. Back set Vanderslice. Haven't heard from her this set. Calvin able to corral. And Grace Marshall digging that one out of nowhere. And off the block from Vanderwide. Pushes the lead to 5. And Vanderwide earns the right to serve after that kill. And if you don't know volleyball, that's how it works. If you get a kill, you get to serve. That's a joke for those who actually don't know volleyball, but we appreciate you tuning into this one anyways, as Kellogg puts it over to Feebane. Feebane there for the partial block. Vanderslice with the roll shot. Rubel diving effort. Vanderswag keeps it alive, cross court, and the deflection off the block from Burbridge and Fox caused Vanderslice to not be able to maintain control of that one.
A lot of weird spin on the ball on both sides, actually, but the Knights being able to sneak that back over in a good spot in the middle, catching Vanderslice already leaning down.
16-12 here in the fourth set. Hope holds a 2-1 advantage and make it 17-12. The quick middle works that time once again.
Just Burbridge and Lee, just a pure connection they've had so far. Worked it out quick in that first set. I think there's those 2 missed connections they had early on, and it's been seamless ever since.
Absolutely. Burbridge with 11 kills tonight to 3 errors. That's big time. And speaking of errors, that one sails long from Naminga. And the Dutch got a 6-point advantage. Right when it starts seeming like it's going to slip away from the Knights tonight, they take a timeout, and it's 18-12. Hope 7 points away from adding to their win total against their bitterest rival. We'll be back after this to see how the fourth set plays out. It's Hope Volleyball.
It's no secret. The best way to learn about Hope College is to spend time on our campus. The Hope admissions team invites you to a personalized visit experience you won't forget. Located in downtown Holland, Michigan, our historic campus is close to shopping and dining and just 10 minutes from Lake Michigan. We invite you to check out our campus tour options or sign up for an online tour with the Hope admissions office. There's never been a better time to see Hope College. Visit us at hope.edu/admissions.
The River Place in downtown.
18-12. Hope leading Calvin in the fourth set. How did we get here, Carly? Hope won the first set 25-21, 28-26 in the second. Calvin wins the third one 25-22. And now Olivia Phoebing serving with a 6-point lead. Calvin and Kellogg not able to get it through the wall. That is the Flying Dutch.
And just, I mean, great team defense by the Dutch right there. We've seen them hitting percentage so far, 414 in this fourth match, and Calvin just at 182, really finding the way on the block, on the defensive end, but also on the attacks on the offensive end.
Baker gets blocked as well, trying it again, going back to the well. Vanderwide digs it out, but it flies over to the net to Calvin, trying the middle set this time, no good. Phoebing picks it up, and Vanderslice hammers a net violation against Calvin. That's Hope's point either way.
And you know, Eric, I think we've slacked a little bit talking about Vanderwide. I know we've talked about her being sneaky. We said that maybe she hasn't gotten as many kills as we thought we were, but she is leading the way with 22 kills for this Dutch offense. So, I mean, she's had some great digs, kept them live defensively and offensively.
Great block from Vanderslice there. Calvin gets to reset. Kellogg is rejected. And a point again. Once again, it goes to Hope either way, whether it lands or the net violation. And Hope's defense has come up huge blocking. A couple times they've had 3 frontline blockers, and Calvin's just not able to handle that.
And another error. We got a double hit off the set. Just
a double hit against Calvin, and it's all coming unraveled here in the fourth set.
Honestly, shocking. After that third set, I thought this game was going to go in a completely different direction. The momentum on the Knights side, they just are all on different wavelengths right now.
Hope student section chanting, "Start the buses." Aaron Baker trying to make sure that doesn't happen, but Hope with an opportunity. Vanderslice, great effort from Ekins in the back row, and Baker gets it to go that time.
And this is where it starts for Hope. We can't let our foot off the gas. The Knights are capable of coming back from this deficit. They're a great team. They got great serves, great hitters. We can't get comfortable.
Hope, you'd like to think, would be happy just trading points, but you got to keep your foot on the gas with a program like this, and that is one way to do it. Liz Vanderslice cross court. She's going to get subbed out for Sammy Seib to take the service. 2 points to go before Hope has the match. Seib tickles the tape. Martinez able to get it up off the diving effort from Ekins. Hope with an offensive opportunity and a miss from DeWeerd.
These will be some good substitutions here for the Knights with 18 Ekblau back up at the net, DeVries serving.
Potential endurance factor coming into play, as both these teams are used to, frankly, running over teams and not having to play a lot of intense, tight sets. The largest margin of victory in the first 3 sets was 4 points. This one an 8-point advantage as Calvin gets the point off the service there. Hope able to get that one returned at the very least, but Aaron Baker finds the wide open spot in the middle of the floor. I think I might have been able to spike that one.
Well, as an outside hitter, that cross shot is just so nice, so easy to go to, and we can count on that much space being there. Good shot by Baker.
You get a talented player like that, that much opportunity, and that's almost 100% gonna happen. Timeout from the Dutch. They just need 2 more to put away the Knights here on Wednesday night. For the rivalry, we'll be back. It's Hope Volleyball.
Downtown Holland redefines active senior living. A no-step floor plan is designed around your needs, so you can leave the worries of home ownership behind and enjoy a vibrant lifestyle right outside your door. Make the River Place your home. Visit resthaven.org/riverplace to reserve yours today.
We're back here at DeVos Fieldhouse. Eric Van Swal alongside Carly Van Swal. It is 23-16. The Dutch 2 points away from taking this match 3 sets to 1 over the Calvin Knights and taking control of the MIAA, but an ace from Alyssa DeVries keeps Calvin alive for the moment. When your opponent has 23 points, it's a lot less pressure than 24 because you can't make a single error with 24 points. That may seem obvious, but I feel like it should get pointed out here as
less pressure for sure.
Hope pushes it over. Calvin has some room, but they're trying to put it away there with Baker. Seib gets it to go, and it's rejected by Baker and Martinez. Calvin gonna make it close at the very least. Not going away easily, and that is no surprise.
Quick, smart decision to send that just right back over the net, right where it was in that open space.
And into the net right there from DeVries. And Hope is 1 point away from the match point. Tough break there.
Yeah, that's not what you want to have happen. Another team sitting at 23.
And DeVries has played a very solid game tonight. Had not had a service error to that point. Calvin still has an opportunity here. The offensive from Baker, and the exclamation point from the Dutch. DeWeerd and Lee combine for the match point with the set block.
Seems fitting that that's how we ended the game when Hope really found that wall up at that net.
They had only 8 blocks in the first 3 sets, and I think they had 5 blocks in the last 10 or so points. My goodness, what a match here tonight. Hope emerges victorious. 3 sets to 1 over Calvin, 25-21, 28-26, 22-25, and 25-18. For all the Hope and Calvin fans out there, we thank you for tuning into this broadcast of Hope Athletics and Hope Volleyball. For Freddie Velasquez, our amazing A-team back in the booth, and my #1 partner here, Carly Van Swal, I'm Eric Van Swal. Thanking you again for tuning in. Hope emerges victorious and stays in first place in the MIAA and hands Calvin their 3rd loss of the season. 3 sets to 1 in favor of the Dutch. We'll see you next time. This has been a presentation of Hope Volleyball.
These two teams do not like each other, and you got to love that.
damn survival. We must win, it's tribal. My team like Ken, by any means necessary. One head-to-head with adversaries. Nothing is given, so we gotta take it. Can you feel it?